Hey, what's up everyone? In this video we're reviewing the brand new Asics GLIDERIDE 2. Hey, what's up everyone and welcome back to FORDY'S. How are we all doing, people? Let me know in the comments. And while you're down there, have you bagged repair? Have you gone for it, or are you waiting for this review? I really appreciate, and actually I want to say a big thank you to everybody who's been asking when the review's coming out of the GLIDERIDE 2. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. And thank you to everybody who subscribes to this channel, actually, because I've noticed the numbers are going up, and I just want to say a massive thank you. And if you're here and you've not subscribed, make sure you do before you leave us. Today, right, so GLIDERIDE 2, is it any good? Well, in this video we're going to find out, so let's get stuck in. Okay people, so the GLIDERIDE 2 is £145 here in the UK, it's $150 in the US. Shoe has a 5mm drop and it weighs over 11 ounces even, for my UK 9.5, and it fits true to size. I've had no problems in terms of fit. It's an Asics after all. You've got AHA Plus, which is the high abrasion rubber on the outsole, engineered mesh upper, which I think is one of the bigger changes. It's a nice stretchy material that they've put on the shoe now. You've got flight foam propel in the midsole, and the guide toe technology, if you don't know about the GLIDERIDE, because it's the same as what's on the original, but it's all about that sort of ankle flexion, reducing that ankle movement, which then sort of takes away fatigue in your muscles, which helps you go further. This is a middle to long distance shoe after all, so it's all about that. You've got a rocker going through the shoe with a plate here, plastic plate, again to help that propulsion as it takes you through. It is a weird sensation. If you put this shoe on, you've never put a GLIDERIDE on, you'll be like, what's this all about? But once you get running in it, you get used to it, you'll know what I mean. A couple of interesting things, I think, apart from the upper, which is definitely a slight improvement, I would say, over its predecessor. It's definitely more breathable. That was one of my only complaints of that shoe. It wasn't that breathable. I mean, this thing is not as breathable as like a Saucony Endorphin Speed, but they've definitely made an improvement on the shoe in terms of breathability. But the other thing I've noticed with the shoe is they've definitely made, I think, more of an effort to sort of add structure. I mean, you've got the overlays that sort of blend in to this really quite prominent heel counter on the back to add stability. Now that has got a heel counter. We will do a versus video, by the way, but it's not, you don't really notice it that much. But they've really seemed to have built up the back of the shoe, I think, to sort of help with the stability of the shoe, and it's good. It's a positive. Trust me, it is a positive, because it does have a relatively high stack height, and I think it's just all about creating that, say, that sort of smooth transition from heel to toe, so you're not wobbling around and you're just going nicely through. So again, you're controlling the energy through the stride, and I get that. And yeah, so there you go. So I think that's a little bit on the guide toe technology. Laces are perfect. They're not ridiculously long, they're not ridiculously short, they're just right, and they're not one of those ones that are like mega stretchy either, so you can get a nice lockdown over the foot. On the outsole, the AHA, the high abrasion rubber plus, has been improved. I think that was one of the things they needed to do. Also, never had any problem in terms of the outsole on that shoe, so don't get me wrong, that's how I've run that shoe in all conditions, but I just feel like they've added more rubber in the right places. There's definitely more depth to the rubber, and that for me is appreciated, particularly where I run down the canal toe paths on my longer runs. This is where the shoe is used. But yes, I mean, the wear on those things was great anyway, but they've really definitely made improvements over it, and I think just the placing of the rubber in these certain places will help with traction. In the video, in the B-roll, you saw the day I took the camera, it was typical, it was actually hammering it down. But even on a day like that, absolutely on the money in terms of grip. Right, I think that's the stats and features. Let's get on to how it feels when you're out there running in it. Okay, so the first thing I would say is when you put this shoe on, you're going to go, that's quite hard. It's definitely harder than it looks. You see that big cushion, you think it's going to be soft, it's going to be like a Clifton 7. It's not, but it does get softer, people. Bear with the GLIDERIDE because it does soften up. The flight foam Propel definitely softens up the more you're running them. So bear with them, but it definitely feels firmer than that, okay? I don't mind that actually, I prefer that, but the more you're running them, the more it will blend to your foot and it will just feel, well, it will just feel connected actually. I really, really like what they've done with the midsole actually. I don't know, for me it works perfectly. It's just that nice blend of sort of, yeah, firm but soft. Probably not making any sense, but it's a nice comfortable compound blend that they've created on the shoe again, and that was amazing. But I really think that they've nailed it on this shoe. And I tell you what I think actually, and we'll come to it right now, I really think this is going to suit you bigger guys and girls out there who are looking for something, a shoe where you maybe some of those softer shoes you come a little bit unstuck, a little bit unstable. Check this out. I think the sort of slightly firmer sole in the shoe is going to help you out, in particular with the flexion from the guide sole. But yeah, if you're looking for that sort of higher stack shoe, this is definitely the way to go. Anyway, I wanted to say that at the end of the video, so I kind of got ahead of myself. But yeah, I mean, this thing, I've worked this through the different paces, through the different distances, and it's really, really, again, done everything that I wanted it to do. And what actually surprised me was when I picked it up, that it gave me a little bit more. This is not a speed shoe, middle distance, long distance shoe. But what I liked about the GLIDERIDE 1 is the fact that if I needed to go up from sort of easy pace to goal pace, it done it easy like that, and then I could sort of come back and find my easy pace again. But I actually went up further than through goal pace and put some tempo work in, and again, despite it being over 11 ounces, it responded and it did a good job. Yes, I wouldn't want to wear it to do those like longer tempo runs, but if you're looking for something to sort of mix it up during those longer runs or medium runs, this can do it. So again, big positive on the GLIDERIDE 2. Yeah, that's probably enough on how it feels. Do I think it's better than the first version? Do I think you should buy it? Okay, look, so the first version was so awesome. We know how awesome it was. I think that what they've done here with GLIDERIDE 2 is they've made decent enough gains to warrant you spending 145 on replacing it versus the other version. I know that is under £100 and it still offers extremely good value. But I do think that they've made enough changes to this shoe to warrant paying that little bit more money. Yes, it is slightly firmer, I get that, but trust me, it does soften up. It does soften up, people. And I think the, not addition, because they had it on there anyway, but the sort of toughening up, the building up of the heel area is a big positive as well. For anybody who does have a tendency to pronate, lazy pronate, fatigue pronate, I think that will help you, because it helps me, and you know if you don't, but I do that, particularly on those easy pace runs, and that is definitely providing me with less pronation, I have found, on those sort of middle distance runs, for sure, 100%. I like the, it seems like it's more padded. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe because it's so worn out around the collar and that like that. But it definitely feels like they've added more comfort here, which again, I appreciate. I think the only negatives, I just wish they could have made it a pinch lighter. I know it's hard when you build up a shoe this much. It is a bit like, it is quite, it's quite a, I don't know, not a brick is the wrong word, and that's really unfair, but I'm trying to be positive. It's a really solid feeling shoe. You feel like you've got something on your feet that will be able to sort of run through brick walls with. You know what I mean? It's that sort of, yeah, it's just really well made and really well built, but there is a lot of it. And you feel that versus the first version. That's what I'm trying to get to. It definitely feels like they've put more into this, added stuff onto it. I don't know whether they've done that just to try and justify you paying the extra money, but yeah, it does feel like they've tried to put more on it to get you to buy it, if that makes any sense. But that doesn't take away from the fact that this is, I still think, a very, very good shoe. And I do think that it is worth paying the little bit more to get the newer version than the first version. There is Nothing negative in terms of what they've done to it, because some shoes they come out with and they ruin them, but they've not done that with this shoe at all. I think that the changes they've made have been positive, and overall, yeah, I was worried because, as I say, they can come out sometimes when you do make such a really good shoe that you can come out and ruin it, but I don't think they've done that actually, and I think the changes that they've made are an improvement, and I think if you're looking for a medium to long run shoe, this is going to be the job. If you're looking to train for the London Marathon in October or another marathon in October and you need a training companion, this is going to do the job. You know, when you start hitting 15, 16, 17, 20 miles, this is the bad boy to have. It's definitely going to be helping you when you're out there. And I think that's probably the biggest compliment I can give it actually. As a marathon training shoe, half marathon training shoe for those middle distance long runs, I still don't think it can be beaten. Maybe I'm absolutely crazy, let me know in the comments. Yes, there are some amazing shoes out there, some incredible shoes out there from some fabulous makers of shoes, you know, the stuff from Hoka and that, but I still feel like this is the #1 middle distance to long distance shoe for us everyday runners. For, you know, those people who maybe do lazy pronate, who maybe want a little bit of cushioning, some comfort when you're out there. And you don't need to be like running at full steam the whole time. This is going to be able to do everything that you need. It's not cheap, I appreciate that, £145, but I do think to say if you are training for a marathon, this is a good investment to make. So there you go guys, that is my impressions of my review, whatever you want to say, of the GLIDERIDE 2. Watch out for part 2 when we do a long run, 20 miles in the shoe. We're going to take 2 pairs out for 20 miles and we'll let you know what that was like. So there you go. Let me know in the comments, do you agree, disagree? Yeah, be very interested to know. I'll dive down there once the video comes out. But there you go, people. You were asking, I've delivered. GLIDERIDE 2 review is finally here.